Hi, in this video we're going to show you how to create an initiative. So what we do is click the initiatives button, click plus, and we see that there's actually three key sections to create an initiative. There's the general information section, change impact section, and benefit section. So in the general information section, name, let's call it technology system 123. Type the description about the initiative. What type of change is it? It's more of a technology change. Contact, so who would be the key contact person if I have a question about this initiative? So let's say it's going to be Mary Johnston. Now the next one is who is the owner of the initiative. So in an agile world, who's the business owner, or in other words, who's ultimately accountable for the success of this initiative? Let's say it's going to be Mark Stevenson. Which phase of the initiative is it in? It's currently in design phase, and we haven't really rolled it out yet. Strategic alignment, which part of the company strategy is really under? It's really under, let's say, operational efficiency. Now this field is really about if you have an initiative that's sensitive and you do not want to show that to most of the users, you could enter that initiative and just select the users that will actually see that initiative. So probably users when you're doing restructuring, for example. Now verified, so what happens after you've finished entering this whole initiative? Now if you still haven't come back to update any details in the system, after a 4-week period of time, the system would actually send you an email to prompt you to come back to either update the details or to verify that the information is still accurate and true. So in that case, you would just tick this box here. Archive, so let's say we rolled everything out, everything's gone smoothly and it's pretty much done and dusted. We would then click this button and the initiative would be archived, meaning that it would not show up in any reporting at all. Now the next section is probably the most important part, which is really the change impact itself. So let's say in the system rollout, the first part of the impact is going to be communicating the need for the system. It's going to impact, let's say, the product development team because they need to understand the rationale for this system. Going to impact all subdivisions. Level of impact, because there's really more of a communication, so we would say minimal impact, just a few emails and reading an article, so it's really level 1. We're going to say this doesn't have any customer impacts. Now if an initiative does, you would click this button and it would actually show you this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 key data fields that you need to enter, such as what is the type of customer or customer segment, how many customers are impacted, different categories. Does the customer care from their perspective as opposed from the organization's perspective? Is the impact medium, low, or high? And is the change or the initiative positive or negative from their perspective? So again, just an example, but in this case, we don't have a customer impact. It's going to impact all geographies. How many people would it impact in terms of employees? It's going to impact, let's say, a few thousand of the product development team. It's going to go from, let's say, the 5th of September through to the 22nd in terms of the announcement period. So that's impact 1 pretty much. Now let's go ahead and enter another example. Let's say the next change for this system rollout is really about training. So let's go ahead and edit that name to make it training. It's going to impact, let's say, all of operations employees across the board, the impact level would be, let's say, it's going to have impact of 3 because it requires around a day of various meetings and workshops. So let's go ahead and choose level 3. Again, there isn't a direct customer impact because we're able to resource accordingly so that customers are not waiting in line. For example, again, it's going to impact all geographies. How many employees are impacted in this training? Let's say it's going to be quite a lot. It's going to be, let's say, 5,000 employees going through this training. It's going to be after the training will be after the communication. So let's say it's going to be from October through to let's say December, beginning of December. And who are the stakeholders impacted? It's going to be the front line that are going to go through the training, and it's a training activity. So that's pretty much how you would enter the impacts. So just bear in mind that you would need to enter different impacts if it's impacting different groups of people or the timing is different. Now the last section is really benefits. So again, this is really about sizing the importance and priority of initiative one versus another initiative, so that in the reporting you can actually easily tell which one is priority. So when it comes to a contention in terms of there's too much change going on, then you could actually refer to this data to really look at which one should we prioritize instead. So let's say that this is actually more of a financial benefit. It's gonna give us 100,000 dollars in terms of savings, in terms of the benefit itself. Now, if it is the case that you're gonna choose non-financial benefit, you would already have put in the different categories in the company setting or setup section. So then you will actually see some of those categories here. Now the health field is really about, okay, so we're already rolling out this initiative. It's going along. Now, what does the health of the rollout look like when it comes to, are we on track in meeting the benefits or not? So for example, have we completed the training effectively? We haven't missed a huge chunk of people in our surveys when it comes to tracking the progress of rollout. Everything is on track. Then you would put green in terms of the health. Or it could be that things are red because we are delayed in our training and the embedment hasn't gone very well so far because we haven't really articulated the why clearly. So that could be some of the reasons for the health being red. It could be also that you've done the initiative and you met all the benefits, in which case you would tick that. Customer benefits here, 3 categories. So is the benefit about emotionally engaging the customer? Is it about, and there's different numbers from 1 to 10, and each of these are all from 1 to 10. The second one is really about is it about making it easier to access? Is it going to be more accessible to the customer? Is that really the theme that we're driving as a benefit? Or is the benefit around creating value for the customer? So just general categories in terms of the benefit section. Now, none of these are compulsory, so it's really up to you to decide how you would like to enter the data or not enter them. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and save that initiative. Now we actually found that we've skipped a few fields here. Let's go ahead and enter them. So here we're going to say it's going to impact the front line, and activities would be, again, it's about communication. Okay, let's save it again. So yes. So now you can actually see that initiative being saved in the system.